YouTube, what's up, man? I want to go ahead and welcome you all to my channel. It's going to be my first video, and today I want to talk about how I was able to make $850,000 revenue in my first year in business in less than 8 months. So it is currently August right now. We are on track to make $1 million before the end of this year lets out. I do want to go ahead and throw out first, this is revenue, gross revenue. We profited so far $320,000. So I will have screenshots on both sides of our numbers over so far in the year, and I want to break down how these numbers work and what this looks like in terms of how I was able to do this, and a little bit about my story. A lot of my followers on Instagram are asking, how am I managing football with business? How was I able to scale the business? So this is going to be an overarching theme and how I was able to make $850,000 revenue in a little bit under 8 months. So without further ado, let me start off first by telling my story. So on my Instagram, I always talk about providing value first. The way that I was able to do that is through sales. So those of you all who know, my goal has always been to make it to NFL. You see on my channel, I have Trust the Seed. This video is going to be a little bit more of a deeper dive into the business aspect and what I've been doing while I've been training. So taking a step back, I started off working at a company selling AT&T door knocking back in 2021. So at the time, I'm selling AT&T. I am learning and sharpening my toolkit as a sales rep. I'm essentially driving around canvassing between 50 and 75 houses 2 to 4 times per day and pitching them on why they need to buy AT&T services, whether that be cell phone, whether that be internet, or whether that be TV packages. And that was my first glimpse of hustle, work ethic, and how to, put that together. I did that job for 4 or 5 months. I made a little bit of money. I think it was like $6,000-ish. And then when May of that year came, my now wife and I needed to move. And I knew at this time, it was one of those moments where you always hear about people saying they bet on themselves. This was my moment. So just so you all know, before I went into the job, I was working for Family First Life as an independent life insurance broker. I had failed my life insurance test 4 times. When I went in to get it the 5th time, my upline manager at the time was like, hey, just give it a shot. And the reason I got in is because he was sending me, screenshots of his bank account and how much money he was making. And I was like, okay, cool, I got to do this. My goal has always been to be able to train as if I'm in the NFL, make sure eating right, training right, taking care of my body properly. So that way, when the opportunity presents itself, I'm always ready to seize it. And I knew that there's a way where I could pay for training or train myself or get programs from strength coaches, and do it for free, or the cheaper route, which a lot of people take. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I wanted to exhaust it as if I was in the NFL. So I knew the only way to do that was to be able to make the amount of money that individuals I know that are in the NFL are making. So I was like, hey, selling AT&T is cool, but if I'm still trying to get to NFL, I'm not getting any younger. I have to continually, put the effort in. So that's why I actually got into the life insurance space. It's one of the fastest, it makes I think, quickest millionaires. And don't fact check me on it, but it's something like that, where financial services actually makes some of the quickest millionaires, or has the most millionaires, something like that. So I decided to get into the industry. This is June of 2021. So I go into it on a part-time agent. This is where I learned the true grind of being 100% commission-based, but I also had to buy these things called leads. I'd never heard of them before. Obviously, we canvassed for leads, but buying leads was different. Right, so I had to pull out my credit card, swipe a personal credit card to get leads. So I was a part-time agent. My first few months, I only made like $10,000, which seems like a lot. But in the life insurance space, it's really not that much, because you have these things called chargebacks and whatnot. So I'm like, all right, cool. You know what? What I'll do is I will, I'll keep working part-time as long as I can pay for training. And it was cool. I was paying my bills. I was kind of making ends meet. And then when October came, I didn't get an opportunity to go to NFL in 2021. So I was like, you know what? Let's turn it up a notch. I heard about this thing called the USFL that's supposed to be coming out in March of 2022. So I was like, I got 5 or 6 months. Let's just train and let's go all in on this life insurance. So I went from being part-time to full-time. And this was probably the hardest season for myself in terms of commitment. I've always been somebody, when I've trained for football, that's got up at 4 a.m. First one in, last one out type of guy, consistently, through college and high school, etc. But now I was not only the first one in, last one out, I was the first one in, last one out. And then when I was out, I was having to go spend 8 to 10 hour days driving around the city to sell life insurance, because I knew that if I wanted to be at the top of the top, I was competing with other individuals who didn't have to, they weren't waking up at 4 a.m. to go train. Maybe they were getting up to lift, but they weren't doing the type of lifts and runs and conditioning and sprint that I was doing. So I was kind of living two lives, still training like, you know, the goal is to get to the NFL, which it is, and putting in work as an insurance agent. And that was the first time that I was able to see that, you know, wherever you're at, you're able to pursue two goals at the same time, not chase two rabbits. But, and I don't even want to say pursue two goals, but let's say it like this, right? You're able to let one goal that you're going after, that main goal, you can have something that can filter into it, which we'll get into how I got here later on. So, you know, I'm like, all right, cool. It's easy for me to explain that to people, but let me kind of walk you through what it looked like. So I was getting up at 4 a.m., 4 or 5, depending on the day. I was going to speed training or position work. I'd finish position work. I'd go dial. We had to dial every day on Mondays and Thursdays at 7:30 a.m. So I was on the dial between 7:30 and 8 every Monday and Thursday. Those were the days I'd wake up and do speed work and lift. And then I would dial from 7:30 to about 12 or 1. I'd take a break, go get something to eat from, you know, 1:30 to 3, because that's when a lot of people would pick up the phones. And at 4 o'clock, I'd get back on the phones from 4 to 8, right? And I'd book appointments. And then on days that I ran appointments, I would set my appointments from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. in the evening, Tuesday, Thursday. And then Friday and Saturday, I would drive from Nashville, Tennessee. So I'd wake up on Friday, I would book my appointments up in St. Louis. Nashville and St. Louis, about a 5.5 hour drive. I book appointments from Friday afternoon through Friday evening, all day Saturday, and then even sometimes on Sundays, but most of the time I could get it all Friday and Saturday. I'd have like 17, 18 appointments. And I would train at 4 a.m., shower, get in the car, and drive 5.5 hours. And the whole time I'm just consuming information. And that's one of the keys that's helped me build my businesses. I was listening to training videos on how to sell, what to say, the cadence, the rhythm. That's all I did every single day for a whole year. I was just consuming information on learning how to sell, what to do, and just listening to my managers. And during this time, when I drive out to St. Louis, I'd come home, get home to spend time with my wife Saturday evening, and then spend all day with her Sunday and right back to it on Monday. And that was my routine. At the peak of it, I was making $40,000 a month, which, like I said, in the insurance space, is not necessarily 40. It's probably like 10, 12 that actually hits your account and like sticks. So March comes of 2022, right? I'm doing the same schedule, right? Month in, month out. So from October, the end of October, early November, all the way till March, I was just getting after it. And that's where I really started chiseling away my skills. I understood what it took to really bet on yourself. I felt like I was running a business, but I wasn't. And a side note is in November of that year, I started now what's Yelp Pratt Digital, the business. Speed up March comes, and my now mentor, Pushman Mitch, Rashawn Mitchell, was offering a 5-day summit teaching people how to rent their cars out, like rental car masterclass, essentially. March comes, I stopped selling because I'm going to the USFL. So I'm so used to the money coming in that I'm like, okay, I'm going to work at W2. I'm pursuing my goal to get to NFL, of course, but I still want to get some money somehow. So I'm like, I'll just rent my car out on Turo. So he had the 5-day summit. At the last day of the summit, he was like, hey, you know what? I actually rent my cars out privately through paid ads. I get these things called leads, and I only spend like $5 a day. And it just clicked. It was that aha moment you have in business where you're like, I got it. So, you know, unfortunately, I didn't get an opportunity to go to the NFL in 2022. So the season ends in June. You know, I never ended up renting my car. I just taken the course, and I was meditating on like, I'm going to use this information to generate leads for myself. Because granted, if you take a step back, when I was selling life insurance for those 5 or 6 months, I was spending like anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000 per month just on leads to make $40,000, right? So it was one of those things where I understood that if I could cut that down half and only spend $5,000 and still make, that's an extra $5,000 that's going in my pocket, right? So I was like, I'm gonna just do this for myself. So season ends, I'm like, you know what, cool, I'm gonna go ahead and dish this out and do it for myself. I was educated by one of my mentors, Rashawn Mitchell. His name is Alton. He was actually the one that taught me how to generate the leads and for life insurance. So I go into generating the leads. I am, you know, trying to figure it out for myself. I spent 3-4 months. It's like super difficult. I'm trying to run ads. I'm just trying to do everything, and it's not working. So I said, hey, you know what? Go back to the grind, right? But I learned a skill set, right? I learned how to generate leads. So I was trying to generate and sell, and that's difficult. So I was like, let me just go all in on generation. So I go into lead generation, and I'm in the process of figuring out, okay, well, you know, I was actually trying to teach people how to generate leads, and nobody would buy it. I was giving it away, right? I made $850,000 this year. I was giving away the formula that I've been using to help agents grow their business for like $47, for $247. I was trying to sell it, but I had no social proof. So I was like, you know what? Cool, here's what I can do. Nobody wants to buy. Nobody wants to listen. Nobody will get on a call with me. They're just like, who are you? Whatever. They knew me as the agent guy, but they didn't know me as the lead guy. So I'm like, how do I become known as the lead guy? So like, all right, well, instead of trying to charge people, let me just start giving it away for free, right? I went to the Gary Vee jab, jab, hook mentality. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give this information away for free. So I hit up my friend and I was like, dude, let me just generate some leads for you and you tell me how they are, right? So I generated them for him for a few weeks. He killed it. He was like, yeah, man. He was like, I'm paying this guy $1,000 a month, I'll pay you. I said, okay. So he decided, he was going to pay me. I took the money. I was like, well, do you have anybody else? And he said, yeah, there was like 2 or 3 people that got signed up. So I was giving it away for free. So I was just cold DMing people every single day, between 25 and 50 people every day, just letting them know. My name's Arnold Tarpley. I've been with FFL, blah, 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 blah. But my strategy was I would like a picture, comment something valuable on their page, whether with their family or their sales. I'd find something valuable to say like, wow, this is an amazing picture. Looks like you've grown a lot. I love how your page is set up. You have an amazing family. Keep grinding, man. And by the way, check your DM when you get a second. And they would check their DM and I would send them a personalized message that would just say like, if I'm talking to myself, hey, what's up, Trey? I'm interested, working with you. I'm generating final expense leads for different agents and they're having some success. If you're interested, cool. If not, no worries, disregard this. And some people respond back. A lot of people wouldn't. And so one of my friends now, I'm not going to shout his name out, but he was like, yo, you know what? I'm down. So he tried it out. He loved it. He got like 12 leads and he made like $2,000. And then he put me in contact. I was like, hey, do you have anybody else? And he put me in contact with my number one guy and then a girl that I also still work with to this day. And they were my first 2 official clients. And from there, the Agent Lead Lab, which is my business that helps agents grow and get quality leads, was built. And from there, it was very organic. I just kept doing the same strategy. I kept DMing people. I kept reaching people. We started with 3, then we went to 5, then we went to 10, right? Then we went to 12, then we went to 15, right? And these are all people that are on retainer. So I have them on a subscription, right? Hey, pay me every month. And then somebody sat down and said, you know what? What if you do this every week? And I was very opposed to it, right? Because I was being stubborn. And then I was like, he was like, dude, if you open this up to a week, you'll get way more people. So then I opened up to a week. And then we went from 15 to 20, from 20 to 50. Right? It went drastic. And this happened this year from February until March. We went from 20 agents to 55. And the key here is this, right? That I was able to learn from my own stubbornness, right? That I don't know all the answers, that I don't have all the solutions, that at the same time, I decided to get a mentor. And the moment I got a mentor, it took off, right? So what I tell people is it's all about investing in yourself. Like for me, we did our best month. We made like $10,000 profit. And my mentor was offering his mentorship for $20,000. So I said, okay, well, I believe I'll get it next month. Let's put it on a business credit card. Let's run it. So paid $20,000, got it. And the next month we hit our first 6-figure revenue month, right? It was like $120,000 or something like that. And that's kind of like what I like to say is the real definition of betting on yourself is putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation. So that way, before you know what the outcome is, you trust that the outcome will be in your favor. Is it always going to be? No, sometimes it won't. But more often than not, if you put the right systems in place and you follow the right principles, it will be. So we took off mentorship. He told me to just keep doing it. Just keep making offers, keep doing it. Cause I was doing it sparingly, right? I would do it. I'd get some people and I'd just let referrals come in. And just so you all know, right, up until I'm recording this video, I have not paid for any paid advertising. We are going to look doing some of that here soon, but we have not paid for any paid advertising. So I'm not actually running ads to get clients. This is all organic DM. We're almost getting to 1 million straight off of organic DM and just hustling, and referrals. And that's how we've been able, to grow our business. So the season comes in the USFL. We're at 55, and just like in anything, right when you go up, you can come down, right? So we went from our best month to our worst month in a 2-month time span. We went from 55 people all the way down to 20. Reason being is I didn't have systems in place. I thought I had 2 people hired, and I thought that was going to be good enough. And soon realized that it wasn't. So during that time, I went out and said, I'm going to hire, 2 more people at the end of the season, and was able to keep the business going, allow us to continue to, make money and continue to help agents help families. End of the season ended in June. And then when July happened, we went out and brought someone else on the team and put some more systems in place. So yeah, the point of this video is just to introduce you all. This is my channel. I'm going to be showing you guys little glimpses of how to hire a virtual assistant, how I run the ads specifically. I know most people don't show the people how they run ads because they have something that they like to hide or whatever. I'm going to be showing people how to do it. We'll be offering a mastermind. We'll have classes. We'll have ebooks. We'll have courses coming out. The sky is really the limit. And I feel that it's necessary for me to release this content and put it in a way where people need to know how to build a business and whatever they're trying to do. If they're a life insurance agent, great. There's going to be a page of transparency, and I'm going to be offering the strategies and tactics that I've been able to use. And, if you'd like to have something more personal and reach out, I'll have a way to set that up to where you can join into the community and really be able to pick my brain as well. Yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know, like I said, we're close to $1 million in revenue in our first year. Shout out to my mentor, continually helping me. Stay tuned, y'all. YouTube channel is going to have a lot of different things. There's a lot of different topics. It's going to be a longer form content, the things that I talk about. We'll be talking about credit. How is he able to get in position to do some of these things? But I wanted to give you guys an overarching theme of how I got here, a little bit about my story, So that way, as you guys tap in, y'all know a little bit about me. So until next time, YouTube, I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at you.